All right, everybody, I just wanted to go over a few things when you're installing your transmissions. I've been a little sick, so I didn't want to go through the whole process of putting this thing in, but just wanted to hit on a few of the things that you don't want to do and some things you do want to do. All right, first thing you want to do is get your transmission under the truck, get it on your jack. You're going to want to match the angle of your engine bell housing on the back. So if your engine's leaned down, you're going to tilt that transmission back and try to match that angle before you even jack it up and get it up there close. So that way it all goes together smooth and you're not trying to adjust it once you get it up there a whole lot. Next thing, you got some dowel pins in your bell housing. You're going to try to line those dowel pins up with the bigger holes on the transmission bell housing and then push them together or get them really close. Sometimes you can, when you get them close, you can take some bell housing bolts and get them started. Never pull the transmission and the engine together with the bell housing bolts. You can start a couple of them just to help you guide it, but always push it in there by hand and then snug them down with your fingers and then go around. Get it good and snug all the way around. If you go to pulling it down with the bolts, you're gonna break stuff. Before you put that transmission up there, you wanna make sure that torque converter is all the way seated. Put your hand on it, hold the transmission so you don't push it off the jack, and turn that torque converter and wiggle it up and down and push it in. Make sure it's all the way in before you put that transmission up there, because if you don't do that and you bolt that transmission down, you're gonna bust your pump. Next thing, well, after you get the transmission in, get it bolted up, you're gonna have to put your torque converter bolts in. The factory torque converter only had 6 bolts. This is a 5-star ATS, it's got 12. I got my fenders off, so this makes it a lot easier. I didn't take them off to do this. I already had them off. If you look in there, you see that hole. You see that bolt. That's a torque converter bolt. What you're gonna do is you're gonna start all of them, all 12. You're gonna get one started, and then on this Cummins, you got that little hole there is for a barring tool to turn the engine over. You'll have somebody, or you might have to do it yourself, turn the engine over until you get to the next hole. Get them all started. One other thing that you have to do, or that I had to do, and I think it was just because this torque converter was so heavy, after I got them all started, then you can start tightening them down. When I torqued the first one, I think it was 35 foot-pounds, instead of it pulling the torque converter towards the flex plate, it pulled the flex plate towards the torque converter and kind of got it in a bind. So I had to loosen it back up and just go around and snug them a little bit to where it pulled that torque converter out evenly and then torque them down. On a factory torque converter, you really don't have this issue because they're not as heavy. But that's just a few things you want to look for when installing your transmissions. And I mean, if you need a video of every little thing to undo and pull out and put back in, you might just want to pay somebody to do it.